Hey, may the 4th be with you. This is Daily Cards Live here on ClaimsOnline.com, presented by Mungenast, St. Louis Acura, and Royal Banks of Missouri. I'm Joe Roderick, joined alongside by Bob Ramsey. Rammer, it's a post-game edition of Daily Cards Live today, as the Cardinals have already gone to work, won 10-0, and are probably, flying over, Nebraska, you think, at this point?
Yeah, that's probably about right. Yeah, I think so. Getting close to taking off anyway.
Oh, well, maybe I'll text Claves at some point. Or yeah, we'll see what they what the travel plans look like. But yeah, post game, I regret that we didn't get to do. Well, I shouldn't say that. I'm glad that we didn't wake up and do one at 7:30 this morning. I'm glad we waited for the post game as they lost yesterday 7-1. But I feel like we missed out on you going over the lineup today, as the Cardinals made a few changes to what they presented, dropping Tyler O'Neill down to 6th in the lineup, and we saw the Major League debut this afternoon of Juan Yepez.
Yeah, the lineup, as I said, as I had referenced earlier on Daily Cards Live, one thing you could do is stack the guys who are hitting and try and take advantage of the guys who are hot, 3 or 4 guys. And that's kind of what they did today. And it could be, you could argue, coincidence, but you did it and scored 10 runs, so it was all good. You don't want to – baseball is a game of trends, and you don't want to get – you got to be careful reacting too much to what goes on in one game. Last night not hitting at all, today hitting. The Cardinals scored a bunch of the runs early off left-handed pitching. I think the trend still remains, the Cardinals destroying left-handers and, struggle may or may not be the right word, but not as efficient against right-handed pitching.
Well, the Tyler O'Neill moving down to 6th in the lineup, something must have woken him up, if not for the left-handed pitching, because he tripled in the first inning of the game and then hit a home run in the top of the 9th inning. So kind of breaking out of that huge slump that he's been in, and his first home run since opening day. So something worked for him.
Yeah, he was in a slump. Having said that, and some of it's a byproduct of where he was hitting in the lineup, but he still was second on the team in RBIs. And so that's why I wasn't to where at a point I'm going, what are we going to do with this guy? Still driving in some runs, still having productive at bats. The strikeouts weren't egregious. Today he has a triple and a homer, and only his second. So if he's going to hit 30 home runs, he's got to get after it. But I never was as down on him or concerned about him as I have been and remain with others in the lineup.
Yeah, the Cardinals only 8 hits today out of with those 10 runs. You had 3 walks from Tommy Edman, 3 walks from Paul Goldschmidt, Carlson with a walk, O'Neill with a walk, and DeYoung with a walk. Quick Western Illinois math tells me that's 9 total walks that the Cardinals had today. So getting guys on base and then letting the big boys drive them in,
and not striking out as much. Those are all good things to build upon.
Absolutely.
And then Yepez comes in. You mentioned he's in the lineup, gets his first 2 big league hits, identical hits, gets him in his hands, fights it off, dunks it down the right field line, showed pretty good speed for a big guy, and turned them both into doubles.
He's now 790 career doubles away from Tris Speaker for the all-time Major League Baseball record.
The double watch is on.
Yeah, 2 in his first game. He's off to a nice little start there at making history. History was made today, though, in the Cardinal game, with Adam Wainwright and Yadier Molina again working together, and with Wainwright getting the win. That is the 202nd win as a battery, which is the all-time, the most ever. I was talking to somebody about this yesterday, Rammer. Looking at this record, it's not one of those that, you say the name Cal Ripken, you know immediately what he holds the all-time record for. When you're talking 20 years from now and you talk about Adam Wainwright and Yadier Molina, to a casual fan, they're not going to know that they were, the longest, they had the most starts as a battery of all time. That's not one that's going to jump out at you. But that record, that the record that they are going to set at some point in July or August this season is up there with what Cal Ripken did, because it's never going to be done again. You are never going to get a battery that is going to catch 300 games together, pitch and catch 300 games together, because with free agency, with longevity, you have to have two guys on the same team for at least 10 years
that come up about the same time.
Yeah,
that's the other thing.
Yeah, so and willing to make their starts. Yeah,
come up about the same time. Longevity, yes, but a level of performance that allows them to have longevity. Mm-hmm. And as you point out, because of those two things, you don't know what's going to happen. And then with free agency, the odds that two guys come up almost together and have longevity and don't sign elsewhere as free agents, that's a lot of pieces that have to fall into place.
It really is, and it's something that we'll be talking about here for at least, I would say, Rammer, I have it pegged as happening either in Toronto, at home against the Yankees or the Cubs, or in Colorado. Those are, if you look at the schedule, that is where that record will happen when they end up breaking the overall record. So you're looking end of July, early August is when that'll likely happen. Nolan Arenado, we mentioned yesterday.
It'll be tough to get wins in any of those places.
Yeah.
Yankees are playing great. Toronto's tough. They're good. And Colorado's playing great now. So
it's something. I don't know who they're playing this weekend. I know we usually wait till Friday to talk nationally, but Aaron Judge might hit 80 home runs this year. It's an unbelievable. He is just off
for low 60s now.
Yeah, he is crushing the ball. But Nolan Arenado also doing the same thing. A home run today in the first inning, a 2-run double late in the game. He is hitting .360 on the season, 2 for 4, 5 RBIs in the game today. So he's not missing a beat. He went straight from April into May. I thought he couldn't hit outside of Coors Field.
Well, you wondered. That's the thing. The power I expected to be similar, but I was concerned about the batting average, and it was sort of backed up by last year. But he talked about the stress of being in a new place and having to be the guy. And now hitting for a high average again is dispelling all the fears that some of us may have had about the mile high effect.
Yeah, he is he is off to just a fantastic start. So the Cardinals win 3 of 4 on the season from the Kansas City Royals. We will not see Kansas City again this season, as the Cardinals now head out west. Their first West Coast road trip of the season. They head out there to take on San Francisco for this weekend. We will break all of that down tomorrow on the show.
That'll be a tough one.
Giants, it's going to be a fun, it's going to be a fun series. I'm looking forward to seeing where the Cardinals match up with them. It's last time, it was so long ago. I'm trying to think when in the season the Cardinals saw the Giants last year, and I'd have to go back and look because I don't recall it being towards the end of the year. And then we were, we had a chance at playing them in the postseason, but the Cardinals didn't win that wild card game. That would have been a really fun series to see the Cardinals and the Giants last year. But hey, I'll take an early season series and see where the two teams match up for the start of the year.
And finally, maybe they can get some good weather.
I don't know. I don't, judging by, I don't know if you talked to Claibs recently, but I know he was packing for the worst heading out to San Francisco this weekend.
Hopefully you can get the decent weather before the summer weather hits, which sounds odd, but that's when you can get really dicey. But for tomorrow, we'll get an in-depth weather report.
We will, absolutely. Rammer, we will talk about it tomorrow as we bring you another edition of Daily Cards Live, brought to you each and every day by Mungenast St. Louis Acura and Royal Banks of Missouri.
Royal Banks of Missouri, where better service means better banking. Call my friends at Royal Banks, 314-212-1500. You'll always get the best rates available for mortgages and refis at Royal Banks of Missouri.
He's Bob Ramsey. I'm Joe Roderick. We will be back tomorrow to preview Giants and Cardinals for the weekend right here again on Claibs Online. When is the next show? 2-man game show with you and Rock?
Sure, it'll be tomorrow or Friday.
All right. You guys will have all of that broken down also right here on Claibs Online. We are brought to you here each and every day. Mungenast, St. Louis Acura, and Royal Banks of Missouri. And we'll be back tomorrow. So until then, have a great rest of your day.
At St. Louis Acura, we have over 330 pre-owned vehicles of all makes and models. And all of them are covered by our St. Louis Acura Promise and backed by our Better Business Bureau A+ rating and 30 years in business. We also service all makes and models of vehicles, including glass and bumper repair, paint touch-ups, and full mechanical services from one of our 24 technicians. St. Louis Acura, better than ever for you, no matter what vehicle drives you.